Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes of the Week. The best thing you can do for this channel is smash that like button on this video like it's a pre-transition Ellen page, so it reaches a wider audience. And now on with the memes. Number one, this tweet from way back when shows that the 5th to 8th place prizes in a StarCraft tournament were 25 bitcoins, well worth over $2 million today. Look who's laughing now. But in reality, it could have easily gone to zero if network effects hadn't taken hold. And odds are they probably spent that money a long time ago on pizza. But imagine winning those bitcoins, forgetting where you put them, and then finding them again. It's like winning the lottery. Moving on, Sella posted on social media that she's starting an awful job tomorrow. Her future boss saw the post and said, "No, you don't start tomorrow, because I just fired you. Good luck with your no money, no job life. This is why you post anonymously online. Talk about not being grateful and unappreciative." The best part is when she applies for future jobs, this might come to the surface again, and she could be in trouble because of it. Number 3, apparently this is the difference between a good couple and a bad one. In a bad couple, the woman wants a cat, but the guy puts his foot down, because they make him sneeze. In a good relationship, the woman says they should get their 15th cat. Her partner says yes, and he's going to order more allergy pills. There's no such thing as a good couple. The guy on the bottom is just a simp. If I had a girlfriend, the only way her cat would be coming into my house is if she was planning on cooking it. Up next is the best ad for the Cybertruck ever. A terrorist detonated a boom device inside of the Tesla outside of a Trump hotel in Vegas, and the explosion was contained in the vehicle. The windows less than 10 feet away in the Trump Tower were not broken or cracked. Looks like their attempt against Trump's and Elon's reputations literally backfired on this fool. When you put an IED inside a car that looks like an indestructible tank, it's not a great plan. Number 5 is anyone looking for a girlfriend because this lady is looking for racist, homophobic, and traditional males. What she really is a chameleon looking to find a masculine man instead of the leftoid soy boys that she's not attracted to. Too many trad cucks are going to fall for this and say that she's wife material. I also wouldn't be surprised if this is just some fed posting this and it was all just a trap. Moving on, ladies, always remember to check the background for dildos before taking photos. This one took me a couple seconds longer than usual to understand. It's like playing Where's Waldo with a human tampon man. But I still think that somebody needs to take the last photo out because a dildo tends to be useful, unlike the twerp in the background of that one. I really wonder if he ended up seeing his shadow on Groundhog Day. Number 7, this woman says it's so over for real men. In a future where women try and replace all men with robots and AI, even the robots will get tired of their BS. Besides, if you haven't figured out by now, women won't get the same enjoyment from robots from the opposite sex, the way they will from actual men. Especially because they can't get the same satisfaction of emotionally tormenting a robot the way they could a man. Plus, the robot doesn't come with a wallet. Sorry ladies, but the future of dating is man and machine. Up next is Wayman is upset because she went on a date with a very attractive and wealthy man. Slept with him on the first date and he hasn't called her, text her back, and she just can't stop crying. This woman was a slut and had a good time, and she wants you to think that she's the victim. He's a high quality man that knew his worth and she didn't meet his standards. When you go fishing for cooch in a catch and release way, you can see it's important to use the right bait. Number 9 is Hillary Hilton's Book of Essential Wisdom, and it's on sale for 98 cents. And it's doubtful it's even going to sell. But that book isn't even worth 98 cents. The paper in the book is now less valuable because it has her life story on it. The book would be priceless if it could explain how Hillary and Bill got away with ending 100 of their closest friends. Then again, I'm sure it's nothing and just a coinky-dink. This book should be sold next to the Kamala real-life action figure. You pull the string and she giggles. Moving on, why aren't the feminists in the UK out in full force fighting grape culture now that one a grape is reported every hour in London? They probably aren't going to protest because they don't want to be grape too. I wonder what could have possibly changed in London over the last few decades for this to happen. It's a real Scooby-Doo mystery. How many incidents do you think go unreported since nothing is being done about this? Number 11, Australia opened up its first woman-only sports bar, and it closes. Women want to enter male spaces, but they don't want men to enter theirs. Meanwhile, it's men that are paying to keep sports bars alive in the first place. The female fans are only usually fans because they're looking for rich male sports fans that can afford season's tickets and take their money and spend it on them. Looks like another dyke bar didn't make it because women were waiting for men to buy them drinks, but there weren't any. Up next, this woman says that her son is handsome and that he's going to be a heartbreaker. I think he's more likely to break a mirror with that cute face. Based on the looks of him, Pookie must have been a real smooth talker. That kid is probably going to be going straight to prison so he can spend some quality father-son time in the slammer. For some reason, when I saw this, I couldn't help but think of Quado from Total Recall. Number 13, what do you suppose this means? A beauty contest was judged by artificial intelligence, and it didn't like dark skin. But I thought that AI was only as good as the data set it was trained on. So I'm guessing that it was taught that faces with feminine features were most desired by human males. I just can't believe that AI would be racist like that. It must have been programmed to be that way by some East Asian people so they could get some laughs. Moving on, meet Tina. Back in the day, she had sex with somewhere between 30 and 50 men. That used to be considered a high body count, high enough for her to get roasted on a talk show in the 90s. Many women have higher counts than that before they enter college. She also looks really mean and fat for back then. Today they all look like that except with piercings, purple hair, and tattoos. She would be considered downright virginal these days with a great personality. Number 15 is Raymond, and he thinks that humans were just enjoying pure vibes in the Paleolithic era, eating berries and salmon and telling stories around the campfire, with no jobs, no poverty, and no capitalism. This has to be a joke because everyone was below the poverty line at that point. The fear of starvation, tribal warfare, and pestilence were prevalent. I'll trade those times for antibiotics and Law and Order any day. There's no way a modern soy boy could have survived back in the Paleolithic. Up next, remember guys, dating a single mother is like going to a party after everybody's left. She didn't invite you to have fun. She invited you to clean up. You're the unpaid janitor cleaning the puke off the floor. That is her life. On second thought, you're just a janitor that pays for his job. On top of that, if you do date or marry her, she's going to blame you for the mess in the first place. I think most of us would rather die alone than be with a single mother. Number 17, the new Prime Minister of England, Keir Starmer, doesn't want to charge people for rape and violent crime. He instead wants to charge people for social media posts and memes. I guess that tells you which group are a bigger threat to the government. He was also in the communist files during the Cold War because he went and worked at a Czechoslovakian work camp. And remember, any government that tries to silence the opposition is a dictatorship. Moving on, would you smash her with your swing swing? This looks like her mugshot, and I definitely would because the only thing better in bed than crazy women are criminal women. Sometimes the evil demon look with the 1,000 rooster stare in her eyes does wonder for boners. Then again, I'd have to reconsider depending on what she's in for. If she was arrested for ending her husband or being a pedo, I'd have to quit that cooch. Number 19, Sally wonders if it's okay for a 21-year-old to date a 17-year-old, and Kay says no one over 20 should be with somebody whose age starts with a 1. Looks like another older lady that hates younger and probably thinner competition. Here's a map of the age of consent in American states. This is the law. If old overweight women don't like it, then they should petition the government to change the age of consent. Looks like finding a good partner is so hard that they want to ban good men from dating younger women. Up next, Olivia Juliana says that RFK Jr. doesn't know anything about health. She's so large that she could be easily misgendered all of the time. This is probably what she used to look like in 1985. And to think in the 1980s, this was considered a comic relief fat kid. Number 21 is freedom more important than safety. Yes, if you're a man. But for most women, safety is more important than freedom. So as more women work in government, the laws will become more about safety. Remember what Benjamin Franklin always used to say, those who choose safety over freedom deserve neither safety nor freedom, or something along those lines. The more gynocentric your society becomes, the less freedom there is. Moving on, if you feel down, then try and do a random act of kindness to help you feel better. Like feeding bacon slices to your vegan neighbor's toddler through the mail slot. The bacon looks like a fruit roll-up. I'm sure the kid's parents will still tell him that yes, bacon does taste good, until you remember that it's a pig, which is a fat, lazy animal that rolls around in its own fecal matter for fun. Also, don't you just love those AI images? Number 23, what's more painful than a child being fed bacon through a mail slot are these abandoned and trashed vintage arcade games. They've moved on to a better place. They're in arcade heaven now. The Robotron still looks like it might be salvageable, but the Tron looks done. I miss the sound and smell of old arcades. Dust and electricity in the air. The only thing I didn't like about old arcades is that they often had cabinets that looked better than the games themselves. Up next, 2 midget wrestlers were ended by hookers. I have so many questions. And yes, it was probably death by snoo-snoo. The hookers poured eye drops into their alcohol to knock them out, so they could rob them. It did actually knock them out, but it also ended them. The working girls were elderly, with one that was 65 and nicknamed the Fat One. The tragedy is they never got to smash before they met their maker. Number 25 on the last one, I hate it when young women have short hair. Should women be required by law to have long hair until the age of 50? At that point, if they did get short haircuts, then we could shame them. Most men are not turned on by masculine looking women. So congratulations to this woman, she just dramatically reduced her dating prospects and increased the odds for the other women out there. Then again, maybe she has this dyke lesbian style to attract other women. Who knows? So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Please give this video a like to push it up in the algorithm and so new viewers can find it. If you enjoy this series and want me to keep making it, then donate at the PayPal and Subscribe Star links below. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.